Fire Kings are challenging the #1 spot in this event. Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more some content. Trinidad and Tobago, we are huge fans of seeing the competition out of these events, and I've always enjoyed seeing what they're going to cook up in their meta, because there's always something interesting out of these events. Now, Vanquish Soul ended up being one of the highest, actually was the highest represented spot within these two events, taking up 2 of the top 8 slots. Now, honestly, you shouldn't be surprised to see as Vanquish Soul is predicted to be one of the better decks within this meta, and honestly, it kind of makes sense. The things and tools that this deck has at its disposal are some of the greatest assets that you can have. And I mean, the K9 package is working overtime this format. It's been working overtime this entire format. It's been doing wonderful. We also had Radiant Typhoon, which ended up winning the event. I'm not really surprised about that. Radiant Typhoon, especially in the week 1 syndrome, was one of those decks that really just crushed the competition. We also had Heraldic Rizal. Excuse me. Whoever cooked up with Heraldic Rizal, I thought this deck was dead ever since we lost, you know, good old Ouroboros and the other pieces that made this deck into the monster that it was. But no, it's still here. We also have Fire King, which is not all that unsurprising. I mean, especially with the Drac stuff. We also had Yummy Fiendsmith. So once again, you get to see that Yummy is evolving with the different packages. I mean, that's a pretty normal thing at this point, right? Like, you want the deck to be able to do its thing. We also have Dracotail, which once again, Dracotail branded still being one of those oddly strong. It's one of the best decks in the room. We also have Mitsurugi K9. Now, we actually do get to see what Mitsurugi K9 list looks like. I mean, obviously, you know, you're just relying on the K9 stuff to kind of give you that supplemental package so you can kind of get the deck off of the ground and be able to get things working. And quite honestly, it does work out very nicely. Now, winning our event here is Sanjay's Radiant Typhoon pile. Now, going with triple of the twins in the main deck, as you should be, this card is so good, man. I cannot stress this enough. You also do see we are playing Forbidden Droplets in the main deck. I mean, sometimes being able to feed off maybe 1 or 2 of these extra cards, or maybe you got an MST that you can't really do anything with. Well, turn it into some food for Droplet, so you know you can kind of do things. I see we have some interesting little super poly targets for the side deck, including the Psychic Fusion monster, which unfortunately, you know, Holly Sue just went to 1, so I don't really think you're going to be getting that crazy a value off of this, but the fact, you know, they had a slot built into it was good. Also, Fortune Tune into Zeus is by far some of the most disgusting work they can kind of put into this format. So, yeah, I can understand why this deck was able to do well. Next up, we have Jacob Jules. Beautiful Heraldic list. Now, you got to remember, I mean, you don't get to do a lot of the old standard BS that you got to do with this deck. You know, now you got to work for your victories. Now, I do see we are playing the Nemesis flag. Yes, the old Infernal Flame Banshee shenanigans to be able to bridge into the Escantos. The fact that you still have access to a extremely strong boss monster is going to be the reason why a deck like this is able to actually function and do well. Escantos is just one of those stupid cards. Also, to advance Heraldry, I feel like is absolutely the correct number for what you're doing. You are playing the 777 Tachyon to be able to bridge and go, but I can't imagine that there's going to be anything too wrong with this list. You know, you've got all the standard power cards that you're going to want. You've got access to everything that you're going to want in terms of turbo options. Yeah, it just looks good. Next up, we have Lawrence's pile of Fire King good stuff. Now, yes, just 2 draw in the main deck. I mean, you may as well play them, right? It's one of those situations, it's like, well, if I've got the good cards, I may as well bring them in to be able to use them to my advantage, you know? If you end up not, well, I mean, it'd be like that. We have the cross on here as well, going with 2 Fire King Sanctuary, 2 Fire King Island. I feel like 2 Island is a little bit new. Of course, you know, Misk into the Drac Friends. It's pretty good. Going with the 2-2 split on these extra deck pieces is also going to be pretty good. Also remember, I mean, this build's not playing X-Strab, so I mean, you get to reduce your numbers, but also you get to float in additional little items into the extra deck to be able to kind of control and do your thing. Also, triple Dark Ruler No More feels extremely good, man. Getting those board breakers is just why this deck is really, really strong. We have Nicholas's Yummy Fiendsmith pile. Now, obviously, you know, you are going to have to kind of play the Fiendsmith package at its regular numbers because, you know, you don't get the little underworld goddess anymore. But instead, I've been noticing more and more people are kind of deviating towards the Reaper-Dachus. I mean, Mr. Reaper-Dachus is able to basically act and do the same thing that, you know, you want the other things to kind of do. Yes, we do have Pinkertops is down here in the side deck. If you've noticed, Pinkertops has been putting in a lot of work in these side decks lately. Not only the fact that it is a huge body, it's just a good control option. Like, if your opponent's got to stick a monster on the field to try to advance their gameplay, this card's going to automatically wrench them, and they don't exactly get the chance to build up from that point on. So I have noticed this has been doing a lot of work. Also, side decking 2 crowns to kind of protect your little field investment is also going to be pretty strong. So lots of interesting ideas here. Next up, we have Brandon's Vanquish Soul pile. Now, Vanquish Soul, it's once again, if you get your normal summon to stick around, deck feels excellent. If you don't get your normal summon to stick around, it feels a little bit weird. Going with 1 Heavy Borger straight off the bat with 2 Jiao Long. That's very interesting. I also see that we are playing the Release Restraint rank up spell card in here as well. So this deck is going a little bit more tech heavy in some of the different departments, which is not bad. All right, you just got to be aware of, you know, what you're trying to do. Of course, we have DD Crow in here as well. So I guess they felt that they needed to control the graveyard a little bit more with the variations, which is fine, you know. Crow is an excellent card when, you know, you have an idea of what you're going to play against. And also being able to just crow away, you know, something a Dracotail player might need in their graveyard might actually just win you a free game along the way. Next up is Adrian's other Vanquish Soul pile. Oh, wow. We have a lot of Vanquish Soul here. So, going with the 1 Noroi, 1 Lantern is fine. We also have the Trap card built into the main deck, which I feel like that's pretty normal at this point. You're either playing the Trap or you're not playing the Trap, and the fact that this is even an argument that we can have right now in terms of variance, if you want to swing away from that, that's fine. Going with the Zeus and the Typhoon, I feel like are fine. You do see we are playing the Umbral Masquerade in here. We're also playing Ripper M. But we're also only playing 1 Ripper. That feels a little bit weird to me, but I guess this list is also not playing any chaotic elements. I guess they just felt that they didn't need to play them. They just cited the 1 copy, which I guess you can bounce back and forth on. It's not a necessary evil, but man, oh man, it definitely, it feels like one of those cards that you do want to actually have. All right. Ooh, we've also got Andre's branded Dracotail variant with 41 cards. Also only playing 1 singular copy of the Fallen of White. Maybe they just didn't want to expand out, or maybe they just felt that they needed one of it. The other thing is, like, this is a card that if you do see it, it does change the tide of the game very, very strongly in your favor. And I feel like this is something that you do kind of want to have access to, you know, but maybe they just didn't have or want to spend the money on them, which is kind of understandable. We've also got triple Fallen and Virtuous in here. I mean, the Fallen of White being an enabler for this, just dropping down an Albion. Some of the freaking funniest crap you can actually do with this deck, man. I see we are playing the Mistaken Erasi of the Dragon's Mind. We are side decking the Solemn Judgment as well to kind of be a little bit of a call-up card if need be. But outside of that, I mean, this just looks very, very strong for a list. And then our last list here is going to be Jason's Canine Pile. Oh boy. So I do see we have Mitsurugi Engine in here, going with just a 1/1/1 package across the board with these. So they just felt that they didn't need to pack any additional copies of that, which feels a little bit weird. We're also main decking the Shifter, which I guess is fine. You've also got pre-prep to bridge on into all the pieces you need. I also see that we're playing C106 for the 7 Tachyon to bridge. Oh, that's freaking hilarious, actually. Well, this is definitely a pile of cards, and you know what? It worked out. This was a pretty good regional, honestly. So what do you guys think about everything for this event? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.